Hello everyone, welcome to my sewing room. My name is Carole. This is my channel Sew Carole and this is hashtag Friday Sews. So I'll be talking about some things that I've made and done in the last week. I've done a refashion of a store-bought, now I know that's a naughty word to say in a sewing room, but a store-bought garment that I bought a couple of months ago. I made a present for my husband, which I'll chat to you about, and I'm really excited to show you some stitching cards that I did when I was on my holiday. Now, of course, hashtag Friday Sews was started by the wonderful queen of sewing, Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room. So we will talk on a Friday about things we've been sewing, making, it doesn't have to be sewing, and anything that we've been doing and buying. And it's just a general place and hashtag to find us all in one place in YouTube. I will, as is traditional, I will start with what I'm wearing. I'm wearing, I know I wear this a lot, but it is Butterick 6859. This was a double brush poly I bought last year in America. It's got these gather sleeves. I know I wear it all the time, but it is one of my favourite tops. The funny thing is, I put out a video this week. I did a collab with the wonderful Tiffany from Who's Your Handmade and Agatha from In Agatha's Cottage. If you didn't catch our video, I'll put a link at the end. But one of the items, we had to create an outfit, and one of the items was this one, New Look 6708, and it's got that same ruching on the sleeves. So raglan sleeves with a bit of ruching. Now, they are more or less the same, aren't they, those two? I still haven't tried this t-shirt version, and I really want to do that because this top, if you didn't see the video, came out so well. I was so pleased. That was out of a woven, and these are knitted garments. So I just really love this style. Maybe it's because I'm cheating that I do love a raglan style top, because you don't have to worry about the seam, the shoulder seam being exactly the right place. Yeah, maybe I'm just cheating and that's why I like raglans, but yeah, that's what I'm wearing today. So I will crack on and talk to you about the refashion that I did this week. I'm going to put 2 bits of film in now to explain a bit more what happened. I bought this top from a shop, and serves me right, it was in a sale. I loved it because of the fabric, and it was it's like a very light viscose jersey, and it was in a sale and I loved it. But I bought my size that I used to buy, size 8. And this is testament to why I stopped buying from shops, because look at the size of it. So this is a size 8. The sleeves are horrendously long, and look at this back. It's like a dress. It's just huge. It's got a button placket down the front, and I love this detail here. Don't know if you can see that. It's got kind of a front yoke and a bit of gathering. So that's lovely, but wowzer, I mean, it is not flattering on me at all. So I want to see what I can do just to bring it up a bit, because I did love this fabric. But yeah, this is why I stopped shopping, because everything I bought off the shelf was just ridiculous on me. The sizing's just gone crazy over the years, isn't it? So hopefully I can make this into something a bit more flattering. A very quick transformation, I have to say. I didn't end up having to do too much to this. I chopped off the sleeves by 1 inch, and I saved the elastic and I regathered them. Maybe need to go a little bit tighter actually, but I did use the same elastic, so I don't quite know what happened there. I have chopped quite a bit off, as you see. Hopefully I haven't chopped too much off. I think it looks kind of all right where I'm sat. I've got some black jeggings on at the moment. And to bring it into the back, I did my fail-safe option. I was going to take a load of fabric out the back, and I thought, why don't I just go the easy way? So what I've done with all the stuff that I chopped off the bottom, I saved that, I recut it into 2 strips, and I made a tie. So I will just tie that loosely. I won't tie it tight, otherwise that's going to bring that in. But yeah, so we have, it slightly dips down at the back as it did before, so much shorter. I just had to alter the sleeves. So I'm quite pleased with that. I think it's made a pretty little top now, so now I can actually wear it. But I have a rule. If ever I wear something that's bought from a shop, I have to counteract it with something I've made. So this, for example, would not be allowed in my rules because these are shop bought. But yeah, because most of my wardrobe now is me made, I feel really guilty when I don't wear something, if I'm wearing something that I've bought. So I always have to counterbalance it with something. So yeah, I will wear these with a pair of trousers that I have made myself. So yeah, I hope you agree that that makes it look a lot better than it was before. In a couple of weeks, it is my husband's birthday. Now, as you may have known, recently I've been making lots of toaster sweaters, lots of things with necklines. And it had been quite cold in the UK, and every time I sort of go in to see my husband if he's in the office, and I go in and he said, "Oh, I'm so envious of your tops with like a turtleneck top." Well, I tried everywhere to try and find a pattern for him to try and make one of these. I had this is the item here, it's 99% finished, but I had this lovely, I'll have to get it off the mannequin and show you, because it's a lovely ponte, but it's got a kind of ridge in it. I can't describe it. Let me just get it closer for you. So, I mean, obviously this is meant to be a man's thing, but yeah, it's got this lovely ridge and it's quite sort of solid. So I thought I would get a t-shirt pattern, long sleeve t-shirt pattern, and then instead of just the normal neckband, I'll make it a bit bigger. So it's, as I said, 99% finished because I'm going to leave this raw until we decide whether that was the right height for him or not. But yeah, so I use Burda Young, which he'll be very flattered by, Burda Young 66002. I have used this t-shirt pattern for my son before with great success. I didn't, there is a hoodie pattern there, but I just decided to go with a turtleneck, so I haven't put any extra pockets in or anything. Now, so my idea was just to make the neckband higher, but I wasn't sure how wide to cut it. So I had to message Adam, the lovely Adam from Adam Sews. Poor man gets my messages all the time. But I said, Adam, if you're not busy, can you just tell me, when you've made your turtlenecks before, how wide did you cut it? So he told me what he did, and he normally does 6 inches, and then obviously to fold down, then that would be 3. So I did more or less the same, a bit more because I do a bigger seam allowance. So yeah, so that is what we're estimating for him. But yeah, that's what he does. But now I could not find a man's sort of pattern out there with this, just to keep him a bit warm. So birthday in a couple of weeks, so I'm going to hide that away now and hope that he does not see this video, because he's very kind and he does watch my Friday sews. So I must say to any new subscribers, because I've had a flurry recently, you're so welcome. I really do hope you enjoy my content. I'm so pleased to have you with me. It's not about the numbers with subscribers, it's the fact that we know if we're getting new subscribers, we then know what we're doing is right. Because we sit alone in our little sewing rooms and we sew things up and we like to share stuff with you, but we never really know if you're interested or not. I mean, obviously we get some marvellous comments, and the comments I get are always so kind and so lovely. But yeah, when I see the subscriber numbers going up, I know that I'm still on the right track. So yeah, thank you so much and welcome. I recently been on holiday, and we went to the Canary Islands, and it's about a 4-hour flight both ways, which was perfect because that meant I could get on and do some stitching cards. Now, I showed you this a couple of weeks ago. I might put a link into how I did it. It was suddenly a new hobby that I found, and as with me, I get involved and do loads of them. But yeah, so I took some stitching cards to do on the plane. I'll just grab my stuff. So funnily enough, I don't know if you remember, this was this awful, well, I say awful, but it's only because the colours clashed, this little pouch bag I did to use up some scraps. I really must do that again, actually. Yeah, so I used this to hold all my stitching card stuffs. So I had, if you ever want to do sewing on a plane, if you get hold of some baby scissors, these always go through. They've gone through Canadian airports, Spanish airports, English airports, obviously American airports. Baby scissors always get through. So yeah, I had all my bits and bobs on my glittery thing. And what I did, I bought a couple of designs and a couple of them were free, and I punched them all out before I left. So all I had to do was take some thread and some needles and the instructions and sew them. So I'll just show you. I know some of you won't be interested, but they're still pretty to look at. This one here is meant to be a bookmark, and it's going to be for my grandson. I've got to put his eyes on yet, which I might just use a Sharpie and do a dot. But yeah, that is a gecko. That was great fun to do. A lot of it was just stem stitching though. None of this kind of circular pattern. But yeah, had great fun doing that. So I'm going to fold that in half, and then it'll be a bookmark for him. I might actually laminate it to protect it. I have got a wonderful one, but I can't show you because it's for somebody in March. But I did this one here, which was so pretty to do. It was so relative. They all look so complicated, but when we actually do them, they are so easy. So yeah, I did that one as well. And this one, which has to be my favourite. I've got threads and things poking out because I haven't finished them yet. But this was this Easter card. And I absolutely loved doing this basket round here. Honestly, you think it's going to be impossible to do, but they really aren't. And they're so therapeutic, just sat there putting the needle in and out. So yeah, very pleased with that one. If you remember, I did an Easter card before with some beads, and no, I haven't finished that. So some very enjoyable flights. And actually, I started another one and I almost got cross because the plane was coming down to land and I had to put it all away. When does that ever happen, that the plane flight isn't long enough to finish what you're doing? Subscription box time. Now, I have to say, this is my last My Sewing Box subscription. I did 6 months Beyond the Pink Door, and I've done 6 months with My Sewing Box, and that was kind of what I was going to do. I had this last one just before I left, and I have to say it is the strangest fabric. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do with it or what it would be good for. So what was included this time round, got some tailor's chalk, always handy, some thread. They've given you suggestions. I had these things. Are they to keep thread on bobbin on cotton reels? I'm not sure. But let me know in the comments what these little things are for. They look like peg dollies that we used to make clothes for. But this fabric, it is strange. It's a beautiful colour, but it is it's like a corduroy, but it is very stretchy, and when you actually stretch it, sorry, that's the right way around, it's almost see-through. You can you see through that? See what I mean? Yeah. So it is odd. It is like a really stretchy corduroy. There's quite a bit of it. Now, what do I do with this? I mean, let me see. What did they suggest? Their suggestions was kind of loungewear, maybe that top there. I think I've made that top. Atelier and the Buttons pearl cardigan. That's funny. Who's just made? Christine, the lovely Christine Sews a Lot, has just made the pearl cardigan in that colour, and she looks absolutely beautiful. I'll put the link down below to her channel because she sold that to me. Honestly, that looks really nice. And then the Linden sweatshirt. So they're sort of saying a top or some loungewear, and yeah, I think it would have to be that, but it's really strange. But there we go. So that is my last subscription box. Now, subscription boxes are really, really expensive, I have to say. And a couple of the times I've had something that I probably wouldn't have chosen. Not that it's wasted money, because I have sewed it up, but maybe not my choice. What I have decided to do going forward, I mean, obviously I had, it's about £50 a month, so that's quite a decent amount of money. So what I'm going to do now, every month I'm going to try and find a small little sewing business online, you know, a smaller one, not these big ones, and sort of buy a chunk of fabric from them equivalent to that kind of money, and just kind of spread the wealth and spread the shopping around, and just choose some small little outlets. So that's what I'm going to do going forward, I think. My plans for the next week, we are going away the weekend, so that gives me a couple of days, and then a couple of days next week. But I'm making something which is the fabric wheel of fate, and I think you'll be really proud of me. So this is when I spin the wheel and the wheel decides what fabric I'm going to use. So it's chosen this fabric, and I think you will. I'm very excited. I'm in the middle of doing it. I think you'll be quite proud of me. So I'll put that video out next week. I don't know if this happens to you, but when I leave the sewing room, or I go away on holiday for a week, when I come back, I sort of walk in here and I'm always not at a loss of what to make, but there are things that I'd forgotten about that I had in my mind to do. So what I did before I left this time, apart from giving it a mega super clean, so it's always lovely to come back to it when it's clean, I wrote down a list of all the things that I really want to do, and actually a couple of things are ticked off, Chris's present and the Fatface thing. But yeah, I find it then easier to come back and realise where my headspace was at before I left to go away. I'm going to leave some photos with you at the end of our holiday. We had a marvellous week, and if you know me very well, this is what happens. If I've had a good holiday, I get these lovely lines here, and that is because I will have spent the time reading like that, and I get always my stripy neck. So normally I come back and kind of wear something up here, but yeah, you can tell I had a good holiday. We did a couple of walks. We went to this island which it's very volcanic. It's got lots of sort of volcanoes on it, not active luckily. We did a couple of walks. I will just tell you about this one walk we did. Now, Lanzarote, the island, is a very windy island. It's known for being windy. But we planned this walk, and it was starting in this lovely village, and it kind of did a rectangle where you went out to the cliff, walked along the cliff a bit, came back to the village. So started in the village, walked out towards the cliff, but the wind got stronger and stronger. I have to say, I don't think I've been in wind as strong as that for many, many years. So we were walking towards the cliff, the wind was behind us. Now there was a section of the walk which we would be, I think it was a 500 metre straight down drop to the sea on this cliff, and we would have been 3 foot from the edge walking along this path. My husband went a little bit further than me, but I have to say I was absolutely terrified. The wind was ridiculously strong. Years and years ago we went to Mount Washington, and that is renowned for being, I think, one of the windiest places. I remember standing on top of there and being terrified, and that's how I felt. I honestly felt that if we continue with our walk, we'd have been a goner, honestly. So we did the very sensible decision, and we turned around and walked back. But oh my goodness, how difficult it was to walk back. I had one walking stick with me, and I really, really had to grab it and kind of push in. And Chris was ahead of me, and it was the strongest wind, honestly. Anyway, by the time we got back down to the village, I realised my arm was aching so much where I had gripped that pole so tightly. Yeah, that was one of the scariest things I've done for a very long time, but I'm back in my sewing room. I live to tell the tale. I don't think that would have been the case if we continued on with our walk. I hope you enjoyed that story. Sorry if you were just here for the sewing, but I had to share that with you. So I will put some photos in at the end, and thank you very much for joining me. Look out for the fabric wheel video next week. As I said, I'm looking forward to showing you and giving it another spin and see what my next project will be. Thank you again, and have a wonderful weekend, a nice sewing filled weekend, and thank you for sharing your precious time with me. Bye bye for now.